I tried living like Jesus for a week. Here's what happened. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to live exactly as Jesus did? To love, serve, and forgive the way he taught us? Well, I decided to take on that challenge and live like Jesus for an entire week. The results? Life-changing. In this video, I'll share everything. What I learned, the struggles, and the incredible experiences that came with following Jesus' footsteps in modern times. Stick around because you don't want to miss this. Day 1, living in humility. The first thing I focused on was humility. Jesus lived a life of complete humility. He washed the feet of his disciples and put others before himself. John 13:12-17. So I started my day with a simple prayer. Lord, help me be humble like you. At first I thought humility was just about being polite and kind, but I quickly realized it was deeper. True humility means putting others before yourself, even when no one is watching. It means recognizing that you don't have to prove your worth to others. You're already valuable in God's eyes. During the day, I challenged myself to be more humble. When someone cut me off in traffic, instead of getting frustrated, I reminded myself that Jesus wouldn't react that way. When I was at the grocery store and saw an elderly woman struggling with her bags, I helped her, even though I was in a hurry. These small acts reminded me how much Jesus lived for others. Humility isn't about thinking less of yourself. It's about thinking of yourself less. Day 2, loving everyone. Loving people sounds easy, right? But when Jesus said, love your neighbor as yourself, Matthew 22:39, he meant everyone, even the people who annoy us, even those who have wronged us. That's where it got difficult. I decided to make an effort to be kind to everyone I interacted with. I smiled at strangers, I was patient with people who were slow, and I tried to listen more instead of just waiting for my turn to speak. But then a real test came. I received a rude message from someone online. My first instinct? To fire back with a smart response. But instead, I took a breath and replied with kindness. And you know what? They actually apologized. Jesus' love is radical. It doesn't depend on how others treat us. It's constant and unconditional. And that's exactly how I want to love people. Day 3, living by faith. Jesus never worried about the future. He trusted God completely. But if I'm being honest, I struggle with that. I worry about my goals, my career, my family, and 100 other things. So on day 3, I decided to let go and trust God more. Whenever I felt anxious, I reminded myself of Matthew 6:26. Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. If God takes care of the birds, won't he take care of me? Instead of overthinking, I prayed. Instead of stressing, I gave my burdens to God. And I noticed something amazing. Peace. The kind of peace that doesn't come from having all the answers, but from knowing who holds the answers. That night, I slept better than I had in weeks, because I finally understood that faith isn't about seeing, it's about trusting. Day 4, serving others. Jesus spent his life serving others. He healed, he fed, and he comforted. But in today's world, we're so focused on ourselves that serving can feel like an afterthought. So I challenged myself to go out of my way to serve. I bought a meal for someone in need. I spent extra time helping a friend who was struggling. I even made a point to check in on people I hadn't spoken to in a while. And something unexpected happened. I felt joy. Serving isn't just about helping others. It actually fills our own hearts with purpose. Jesus knew that serving brings true fulfillment. And on this day, I finally understood why. Day 5, forgiving like Jesus. This was the hardest day by far. Forgiveness is something we all struggle with. It's easy to hold on to resentment and bitterness. But Jesus calls us to forgive, not just once, but 70 times 7, Matthew 18:22. I thought about someone who had hurt me in the past, someone I hadn't fully forgiven, and I knew I had to let it go. So I prayed. I asked God to help me forgive, even if my feelings didn't want to. And after that prayer, something shifted. The weight I had been carrying for so long, it lifted. Forgiveness doesn't mean what happened was okay. It means we choose freedom over bitterness. And that's exactly what Jesus taught us on the cross. Day 6, living in gratitude. Jesus was constantly thankful. Before feeding the 5,000, he gave thanks, John 6:11. Before raising Lazarus, he gave thanks, John 11:41. Gratitude wasn't just something he did, it was a way of life. So I made a gratitude list. Instead of focusing on what I didn't have, I thanked God for everything I did have. My health, my family, the opportunity to wake up and experience another day. The more I focused on gratitude, the more I realized how blessed I truly am, and the more joyful I became. Gratitude isn't just about saying thank you, it's about recognizing that every day is a gift from God. Day 7, reflection and final thoughts. This week changed me. Living like Jesus isn't just about following a set of rules. It's about a transformed heart. It's about loving when it's hard, forgiving when we don't feel like it, and trusting God when we don't see the way forward. Did I perfectly live like Jesus? I fell short many times, but I learned, I grew, and I felt closer to God than ever before. If you were to take on this challenge, which part would be the hardest for you? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss more faith-based content. See you in the next video.